Hello and welcome back to Exeter City, where technology has done its darndest to try and stop me from doing that. I'll get you caught up. I've obviously also had to turn off my fan to record, and it's very warm, so we'll not mess around. I'm going to start with the fixtures because there's no transfer spoilers in them, but you can see that we played the Ajax and Newcastle games that I said would be in this episode. Yep, I recorded this episode, or last episode technically now. It's 50% my fault, 50% technology's fault because my recording software just for some reason decided to default my microphone setting and not actually pick up my microphone. But I should have seen the fact there was no sound coming through. That was my bad. But thankfully it wasn't a mistake I made that caused the issue in the first place. So I feel slightly less bad about that one now. But that episode was going to be up on Friday anyway because on Wednesday my game did the total crash thing again. Yep, so I had to work out how to reinstall it and reset everything and get everything re-put back into it without it breaking immediately. I thought I worked out what the issue was. It's because I did kits for Ajax and Benfica don't have a third kit in the game. Their third kit in that given year was actually really good, which is annoying. But basically I tried to give Benfica a kit they didn't have, and that made the entire thing crash and completely inoperable. So I put everything back in, put the kits in without the third kit, put the logos in, it total crashed again. So I don't know what was wrong with the logos. I had a hunch that it might be Russian-based, so I took out all the Russian teams, and it seems to be okay. But sadly, you'll never see us take apart Ajax and Newcastle 3-0 and 4-2. After the Man City loss, Norwich 6-2, Leeds 3-1. Ramiro Uribe came off the bench against Norwich and scored 2 goals in injury time. Clearly wants to impress. And against Leeds, importantly, Morato's first game, scored a goal from a corner, as did Carlos Eduardo. 2 goals from corners in that one. Carlos Eduardo also scored corners against Ajax and Newcastle in the silent episode. So it seems to be that corners are working now a little bit more than they were before. The combination of Morato's 18 jumping reach and Eduardo's 19 jumping reach with a corner taker who has competent corner taking seems to be doing wonders. But to get you caught up on transfers, there's basically been 2 outbound midfielders and 2 inbound midfielders. What we've effectively done is replace the 2.5-star midfielders. If you include 2-star as well, we've replaced them with people who are more obviously backups or a better backup. Because all 3 of them kicked up a fuss about playing time at the end of last season, between the last fixture and the FA Cup final, which certainly didn't help morale. But Fofana's a little bit sad because he does have good traits at the very least. But at 29, I kind of just couldn't really reject this. He went to Bournemouth for 10 million, which is more than what he was worth for us. So 10 million was a good deal on our end. It's a fantastic deal for Bournemouth, clearly. So slightly annoying. Most of them had contracts that ran out in the next year as well. Both Fofana and Toussaint were captures in this season on 3-year contracts, I believe. So both of them were running out at the end of the year. And Henriksen, who now doesn't have a face because of the technical issues, basically my last backup when it came to faces, didn't have last year's transfers in them. So Henriksen doesn't have a face anymore, but he's now at Pachuca, melting, presumably. Henriksen, I think, actually is better than his star rating gave. When you look at also my attribute colours, I now realise are not updated again. But I think he is actually better than his star rating gives, frankly. But yeah, barely played for us. And we got our money back on him, so might as well. The face issue also will explain why Prazert and Tiberio have new faces as well, in case you eagle-eye viewers spot that. But we brought in Blas Marti from Villarreal for £4 million, 2 more if he plays games. Same star rating as Henriksen and Fofana, with half a star more potential if he ever wants to grow into it. He's 22, so he still has that time. Could Thierry Small this, who was same kind of boat when we signed him back then, but he is obviously a more clear-cut backup. More on the advanced playmaker side of things than the box-to-box. He doesn't really have pace, but we are training that. But you can see £4 million in, he's worth 20-odd million for us, so could be a bit of a moneymaker if it doesn't work out, but he's obviously a more clear-cut backup. He's on that same level as Angelo of being 2.5 with 3.5 potential at this kind of age. And those eagle-eye viewers would have spotted, actually, the other transfer signing because he was just at the bottom of the comparison list. But we brought in Segovia from Bayer Leverkusen. I think he might be an actual Arsenal acquisition in real life. He joined in the season that FM starts. So I can't be 100% on that one without looking it up. But 80 grand a week is a lot for a person who is actually a backup. He couldn't get him any lower than regular starter, but he is effectively our first choice backup. He still creates that third midfielder in those 2 midfield positions in the middle. So if either Hesham or Markovic have an injury or tired from international duty, etc., although he's Venezuelan, so he will be on international duty as well, for certain, just to add to our collection of South American nationalities. I'm on the lookout for Chileans and Bolivians still, but we're nearly there. We've nearly got all of them. He's 3 stars, so he's that clear-cut first choice step in. Well, we acquired it from Bayer Leverkusen, of course, we've already acquired a player from already in the form of Morato. But 27 million, we will have to pay 9 million more if he plays games, but he's worth 44, 49 as things stand. I'm hoping as we develop a little bit more, his value will go up that little bit more as well. I'm hoping he never really gets to 50 games either before we move him on. So you saw there, today we will be playing Everton and Bayern Munich. I'm wearing a Porto shirt because I actually thought the game today was going to be Benfica. I thought that was going to work. For some reason, I got them mixed up. But those 3 victories on the bounce do see us move ahead of Liverpool on the table on goal difference. Man City top, though, so I don't feel too bad about losing to them. Brentford are 4th. They do this. They keep doing this. They keep having fantastic starts and then just average it off over the course of the season. I don't know why. Wolves are bottom. Wolves have played 5, lost 5. They were 3rd. They're in the Champions League with us. And it's not even their first European encounter, so it's not as if they've been surprised by the amount of games. They've only played 1 European fixture as well, so you can't blame that either. Now, the issue is, I want to put in a good showing in the Premier League again, and Bayern Munich, who I feel like are going to roll us over anyway. What I might do, Szymanski's too important to take out, but I'm going to take out a couple of people on heavy workloads. Prieto seems to have taken a knock in the midweek as well, which I hadn't noticed either. Return to fitness for him. And I am going to play Markovic and Hesham the way around they don't enjoy, just because I think Markovic is the better playmaker than Hesham's box-to-box, and I think the playmaking is more important. Avalos and Gold, small at left-back as well, just to give Martin a little bit of a breather. Morato, Ampadu, Tiberio. I don't know why Martin's still on heavy workload. He didn't play midweek. Markovic, Hesham, Szymanski, Fernandez, Pereira, and Uribe up front. Also, Uribe making a play for that first team role as things stand anyway. 3 starts, 4 sub-appearances, 4 goals. 2 of those goals from a substitute appearance, of course. We did fully rotate against Blackpool in the midweek and still beat them 4-0. I don't know where they are in the league structure, actually. I didn't look. Oh, speaking of kits earlier, by the way, I just realised, just because I'm trying to work out what I said in the last episode that I need to re-say here, we've got new kits as well. We've got new kits. I fixed the Bournemouth kit as well, hopefully, because they are back in the Premier League, so if we play them in an episode, then we're not going to have that issue going forward. Our kit's a little bit whiter to look at, their kit's a little bit blacker to look at, so that differential, if we played them, will be a little bit more evident. But we've scored already within 5 minutes. Szymanski to Fernandez. Lovely. It's a corner from Szymanski, and we've scored. Oh, that was an interesting one. Never mind. I was going to say we've scored from corners of late. In fact, we've scored in the last 3 games that Szymanski's played. Well, Morato's technically scored from a corner, just not in the way I was anticipating. That is wild. But yes, I've sort of diverted the issue that I had with our kits before, which was the Expedia logo looking weird. I've also changed the kit maker to Macron, who don't really have a huge presence in the Premier League as things stand. They do in real life. There's 2 teams, I think, in real life that are Macron, Southampton and Nottingham Forest, but neither of those are in the Premier League here. So I figured with us reaching Champions League, I thought people might be interested in making our kits, and that maker change makes a little bit more sense narratively. Blimey, I just realised on the replay how that ping-ponged round our goal. Did it hit both the post and the crossbar before not going in? I mean, clearly. Love those replays. Absolute nonsense. Well, they've got free kicks. This is a goal. Close. Sonny Perkins has scored against Newcastle. I love seeing Sonny Perkins do things, even if he's not playing for us. But I've chosen a striped, as that nearly goes close, I've chosen a striped red and white kit with a gap to put the sponsor in, so we don't have that issue going forward. Sorry, is the Everton goalkeeper kit black and white stripes? And considering it's Pickford still in that Everton goal, I think, if he's wearing what is effectively a Newcastle kit, that's got to be very, very confusing for him. Pickford, in case you were confused, is a Sunderland boy. It's close, but it's not quite, is it? That Pickford-Newcastle issue is why I think Carlo Ancelotti dropped him when they played Newcastle, when Ancelotti was in charge of Everton. At the time, he just played off as being simple rotation, but he obviously dropped Pickford because it was Newcastle. I still think that's one of the biggest bits of genius I've ever seen a manager do. But just because every single game that he played against Newcastle, he'd done something stupid in like the 3 games prior. Sorry, I've just noticed they're playing Calvert-Lewin as a left winger. Not even left winger, left midfielder, as a wide playmaker. I don't know how good Everton are doing this season, but they deserve to be going down for that alone. I know they got European football. They're in Europa, I think. Now, of course, we've just seen Morato score a wonderful goal. In the last episode, I did talk about Morato a little bit and what the benefits he brings to this team. Not obviously not that jumping reach, which is irrelevant defensively, of course, because people don't jump anyway. But offensively, from corners, He scored one and he didn't technically score from ahead of there. Calvert-Lewin's up front. They fixed the problem. What he also provides is the fact that I don't have to play Avalos in defence, which means I don't have both Avaloses on the pitch at any given time usually anymore. Yankov, not pleased with the fact that the defender scored a wonderful goal, has decided to score a better one just to balance the tables a bit more. This is a fantastic goal from Yankov, who I'm not going to roll out as being a new gen, but I'm not going to commit to it just in case. And he runs off doing a chicken dance, seemingly. Nope, real person, real Bulgarian, who inexplicably came through at Sunderland. Why is it with people from Sunderland going to Merseyside teams? Pickford and Yankov, Morata nearly scores from that corner there, but Pickford and Yankov at Everton here. Henderson, of course, is from Sunderland. He's at Liverpool. Giovanni Reina in the game has gone to Liverpool. He was born in Sunderland. What's happened here? But yeah, Giovanni Reina, now at Dortmund, of course, in real life, but in this save, he's gone to Liverpool. He's from Sunderland as well. Godfrey back to Rodriguez. Calvert-Lewin, not quite. Pereira, Szymanski, moves it forward. Fernandez, still Fernandez, puts the ball into the box. No one there. Well, there was one man, but he was behind Godfrey. Capaldo, who is a new gen, I believe. He's from the league-generated players in South America when I pop them in. Capaldo again, much like Tiberio. Rodriguez, Capaldo. I don't know which Rodriguez that is. Szymanski with a great challenge. Still stays in Everton possession, of course, because Football Manager. Szymanski with another great challenge. Stays in Everton possession because Football Manager. Calvert-Lewin in the middle. Defenders don't jump. That epitomises all the problems with Football Manager, pretty much. That whole exchange, two great challenges by Szymanski there. You see both of them in the replay. Stay in Everton possession because Football Manager. And then there's Morata. Oh, he did actually jump, but inexplicably, 18 jump reach was beaten by Calvert-Lewin, who admittedly I do think does have decent jumping. Yeah, 16 on his front with a better actual heading attribute. But, all right, Small off. 73 minutes on the clock. Martin on, please. Tiberio is tired of the right as well. I don't have a right back available because Castillo is tired, I think, or injured, something like that. I'm actually going to bring on Stuart Smith at right back. He played against Blackpool in the midweek. He was great. He has a fairly strong right foot too. And Szymanski, I kind of feel like I do need to change for Martin Saunders because I feel like I've run Szymanski into the ground a little bit. He was the one on the heavy workload to begin with. But the good news is, of course, I have brought in Aaron Martin onto the pitch to take over on corner duties. Michaelenko, Solanke. If we lost this game now, I would have been furious. I'm just thankful that one stupid, bizarre incident didn't cost us a goal, where Buendia was inexplicably thrown on goal. Pickford now, hoofs it forward. That should be a ball for us because, well, Ampadu with an excellent tackle that actually went to our player for once. Pereira on the end of this. He was offside anyway. Avalos, what are you doing, Sunshine? That's not your instruction, but Smith heads this back forward to no one in particular. It hits Markovic and stays in their possession, but Smith tackles. Saunders won't get to Uribe. Pickford now picks it up. Pickford, where are you going, Sunshine? Hoofs it forward. Rodriguez. Oh, Calvert-Lewin. I need to talk about as well episode structure going forward. That's not great. Morato gets in the way of that. Fernandez now. Is it a chance for us? Was that the chance down there, or is this a chance for us now? Finds Pereira. He's onside this time. Back into the box. Uribe. Blocked by Michaelenko and ends up in Pickford's hands. Everton to come back into this. Oh no. I just did the shout and then they got the set piece. Why, game? Why? Why? Everton and Wolves are the two teams that just turn up inexplicably and ruin our day. More than any other team. I feel like I've beaten Manchester City more than I've beaten Everton. It's amazing how quickly their fortunes changed when they put Calvert-Lewin up front. Two of their substitutes scored as well, which is depressing. You could have watched us beat Ajax 3-0 if technology hadn't hated me. Oh, hello. This is the first time this news piece says he wants to actually join us. My only problem now is I did bring in Szymanski, who kind of does his job, because I'd use him as the shadow. So here we are then. European football for the first time comes to the Den. Felt a little bit sorry for the Exeter fans because they've got to go to London for these European matches, and we welcome Bayern Munich, who notoriously love London. And the good news is that seems to have worked wonders for our team as a whole. Morato, Tiberio, Martin, all still on heavy workloads, as is Szymanski, but the two strikers back onto mediums. I don't know why the strikers and the midfielders aren't learning tactical familiarity at all. I don't understand it. What? One single piece. Cesaro Fernandez has played there for 2 years now. Still hasn't learned his position as an advanced pressing forward. Carlos Eduardo's been in the attacking forward role for 3 years and still hasn't learned it. Please explain this one to me, please. But we are going to have to only have Martin Saunders as a backup striker because the other two are a little bit tired after their exploits of the weekend. We are going full strength here. Avalos, Martin, Morato, Ampadu, Tybiro, Markovic and Hesham still in that way around they don't enjoy, but hopefully they'll work that one out. Szymanski stays. Fernandez, Eduardo and Prieto return to the full strength lineup. Castillo returns to the bench. Cannot wait for 5 substitutes next year on FM23. The Bayern Munich team is confusing and annoying. Actually, a lot of that team's actually surprisingly the same. Goretzka, Sane, Gnabry, Alphonso Davies, Upamecano, they're all still there. They've acquired Nianzou and Baku and Olmo. Can't remember where Nianzou is to start with, but Baku and Olmo, of course, have made the traditional Bayern Munich jump of being the best player at another German team and then being poached by Bayern Munich. Isaac and Skamaka up front, and Trubin, who I think they acquired from Newcastle. It actually looks like Bayern Munich's first choice goalkeeper is the Chinese one they've been developing in the background. Zhu Zhanhao, sorry. And the worrying part here is Bayern Munich destroyed Benfica more than we did Ajax. Szymanski on a corner though, and with both players still inexplicably neither of them can get to the ball. Markovic deflects off, nearly goes out for a corner. Isaac keeps it in, sensibly I'll say now, because they've managed to work that one out. Davies, still Davies. Oh god, there's Alphonso Davies doing Alphonso Davies things. And it was to Sane, Isaac, and after keeping it in, just keeps it out. But yes, I'll take this opportunity to talk about the future of Exeter City on YouTube here. Fernandez, though, on the ball here. Well, the plan for Exeter City is affected by the release of F1 Manager 22 on August the 25th. For me, I have pre-ordered it. On August the 25th, I will be streaming F1 Manager 22 with the intention of them bringing recordings of that stream to YouTube. And that will take the priority upon the release of that. However, there's still a week and a half between here and then as of releasing this episode. This will go out on the Monday. I intend to make up for the lack of 2 episodes last week to do 3 in this given week. Skamaka scores. What a surprise. It's come from a cross. Basically, what I'm saying is there will be an episode this week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. There will be an episode next week on the Monday. Now, because obviously the way the game releases, F1 Manager on the 25th, and I'll be streaming it on the 25th, the YouTube version of that first Grand Prix won't go live until the Friday. So whether or not there's going to be another episode of Exeter between the Monday and then the F1 on the Friday, I don't know. I am away at the beginning of that week, so I can't say for certain. Was that a really good save, or was that a post? Looked like it could have been either, as Skamaka nearly gets close again. Oh, for God's sake! Morato waves his finger. It's obviously a penalty because they're never not a penalty. And Skamaka will take it. West Ham fans, here's your boy. Buries it, as Avalos very much overcompensates. Exactly what we needed, though, was losing a 2-goal lead. Morale-wise, going into this match, he just slams it down the middle, actually. He looked a lot more to the right in the original angle. Speaking of which, I just wanted to check my camera angles. They are fine. Did wonder after the big reboot whether or not I'd not noticed they were not as they should be. But no, it seems to be okay. Skamaka to Olmo. Oh god, I just realised I was going to play the different system against Bayern Munich. Baku, Morato, it's probably too late now. Avalos, Tybiro. In fact, I might do it now. Although Szymanski on the ball here. See, this is why that's the position I want them to be in. Fernandez on the end of this doesn't score. He was offside anyway. Just try it a different way. Goretzka now has all of the space in the world, although Hesham's got in the way of that one. Finds Prieto, Fernandez. If we score immediately from changing formation, that is going to be hilarious. Close. Szymanski on the corner. Obviously, corner's unchanged. Players still there. Eduardo. Fernandez back post. Will count. I mean, he literally cannot be offside because they have men on the line. See, that's the thing. Even if Eduardo or Morato don't score, there's the opportunity for that. It's why I leave a striker at the back post. You put a man in there to bother the goalkeeper, so he can't just claim it easily, and you put a striker at the back post to have the finishing and the reactions to get it in first time. Olmo, Gnabry. I think that's an overlooked part of corner tactics as well, is that second opportunity. Getting the quality players in those positions for those second opportunities is so underrated. Bayern Munich get a throw in. Oh no, it's a corner, never mind. And we're seeing it, which concerns me. Hesham clears. 2 people booked in this first off, but 2 people booked for them as well. Not out of this. Prieto is inspired and motivated as they kick off this second half with a highlight. Oh no, Alphonso Davies is dispossessed by Prieto. Benfica are being Ajax in the background, so it looks like Ajax might be the whipping boys in this year's group. Fernandez makes it 2-2, that is onside. I don't know why we were seeing this as an opportunity to be offside. I was fairly certain he was on, and he ran off with his arm up, so we knew he definitely was. And immediately, from kickoff, we get possession and make it 2-2. It looks more offside now, but in real time, I definitely thought he was on. How close was it? Because on the replay, I thought he looked... no, he's on. He's on. I say on the replay, he looked more off than I thought initially, but yeah. They are playing Isaac as an inside forward rather than as a second striker. Morato, Aaron. Oh, nearly takes it out, but keeps it in just about. Esham plays it stupidly safe to Avalos, who then hoofs it back up the pitch to Fernandez. He's not the tall one, but Baku's made a meal of that. Fernandez puts the ball in. Prieto's at the back post, and then all of a sudden, I'll be honest here, Baku's let Avalos off there. Avalos hasn't aimed at the 6'8" man, and he's got away with it, as it was Prieto versus Alphonso Davies. Both about the same height, I think, but striker's instincts versus not particularly great height on a fullback. It's effectively the Mitrovic versus Trent Alexander-Arnold, the weekend situation. Skamaka, well, that was a nonsense goal, 3-3. Now, on my Hanover stream save, we did play out a 6-6 draw with Bayern Munich once, so we're halfway there. I mean, this is stupid. Gretzky with a ridiculous pass there. Avalos actually saved both of those shots, and both times they deflected to the opponent player, Football Manager. It is worth saying we weren't out of this game even at 2-0 down. Like, in terms of the XG, we're sort of there or thereabouts. I just feel like, oh God, the time's just vanished. Segovia on, and Castillo and Thierry Small on, I think, just for fresh legs in fullback positions. I'll tell you what, a point here is not bad. It's another high XG game. We'll take a point against Bayern Munich from the Den. Bayern Munich had never in a million years ever thought they were going to be playing at Millwall Stadium. 39% possession. I'm proud of that. I just realised I was supposed to put Sanchez in goal for European fixtures. Sanchez plays against Blackpool, so, you know, balances out. As Benfica beat Ajax 3-0 as well. So Ajax, the one's going to be bottom. That draw could be crucial, by the way. Because if ourselves and Benfica both beat Ajax, home and away, and exchange wins with each other, for instance, then that draw against Bayern Munich might be the difference. So basically what happens now is we play the Benfica away game in the next episode with Wolves, of course, our other nemesis in the Premier League. The Bayern Munich game becomes a question mark, and then the Ajax with Chelsea or Arsenal will probably be a thing now, just because obviously we've not seen Ajax because of the issues. But 6th in the Premier League, 1 win, 1 draw in the Champions League. It's going above average in the Champions League. It's going about average in the Premier League, as things stand, I would say. I would say that the fixtures so far, the amount of fixtures so far, are affecting our campaign a little bit, just the amount that we've had to rotate already. But Newcastle, Chelsea, Spurs, all not where they should be right now. Brentford definitely not where they should be in the top 3. Good Lord. So I think it's kind of all evening out. By the end of the season, of course, Exeter, if we get through this group stage in the Champions League, we're not going to go far in the knockouts, let's be real here. So we might be a little bit freer up in the second half of the season to push on and get a top 4 finish again. Pasadena is the 3rd best player in the Premier League again. Szymanski with the most assists. Now, getting a player with 16 corners, that could be the change this season from last season. 5 assists and 6 appearances. Moscow, of course, now don't have a badge. It's weird because they're obviously still in the game, but I don't know. I don't know why that fixed it. But anyway, I better wrap this up before I boil alive. I will be recording ahead, so I'm going to be suffering a little bit more later in the day. But you guys, this will be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Next week, Monday as well, with an optional second. It depends how far ahead I can manage to record and edit before I am away at the beginning of next week in reality. So that's the plan. 3 episodes this week, 1 at the very least next week, and then F1 Manager starts. I won't reveal the team just yet, but be on the lookout for that on the channel next week. If you're into both sports, then happy days. If you're not, then sorry. Until next time, ta-ra.